There's a kind of reverence reserved for certain game series, those that linger in our minds and our muscle memory long after the credits roll, and Ninja Gaiden is that series for me. I've spent decades mastering its merciless NES trilogy, failing repeatedly of course, but loving every second of it, and to this day I still return to those games, their punishing challenges as sharp and addictive as ever. Now that same uncompromising spirit, it carried forward when the series leapt to 3D, redefining modern action games of the time with Ninja Gaiden 1, 2 and 3. Though these titles may cause some confusion, the naming conventions, these entries served as prequels to the NES trilogy while expanding the universe alongside Dead or Alive. Now, among this 3D trilogy, Ninja Gaiden 2 stood out as a brutal masterpiece, but not everything landed perfectly, namely the Sigma re-releases. They didn't sit well with everyone, particularly Sigma 2, which made sweeping changes, including dialing back the series' infamous gore and intensity. So when Ninja Gaiden 2 Black basically shadow dropped, promising to restore the blood-soaked chaos and precision that held Sigma 2 back, couldn't resist. This wasn't just a re-release for me, it was an opportunity to see if they resurrect everything that made Ninja Gaiden a legend. It's unrelenting combat, razor-sharp mechanics, and just sheer spectacle. But I think more than anything, here's the real question. Does it live up to that legacy, or has time dulled the blade? Well, after hours of slicing through enemies, battling brutal bosses, and testing its intricate systems, I finally have the answer. Look, if you do enjoy today's video, do me a favour, subscribe, it helps out the channel a huge amount, and now, let's get into it. The story in Ninja Gaiden 2 Black offers a simple yet effective backdrop for the carnage. Ryu Hayabusa, the dragon ninja, faces the Black Spider ninja clan's assault. They're aiming to steal a sacred demon statue. Their attack begins with the kidnapping of CIA agent Sonya, leading Ryu across the Tokyo skyline in what is essentially a fast-paced rescue mission. From there, the stakes only escalate as Ryu returns to Hayabusa village to fend off an invasion. It's not a story that redefines the medium, but it's not trying to. Instead, it acts as a functional framework, guiding you through increasingly elaborate set pieces. Where it excels though is in its sense of spectacle, particularly in its boss introductions. These cinematic encounters are just unapologetically theatrical, embracing the series' penchant for excess and leaving a lasting impression long after the battle concludes. Now the visuals, which are the most immediately noticeable change. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is an absolute triumph in this department. Running on Unreal Engine 5, the game has been brought into 2025 with just incredible polish. Character models are crisp, environments are more detailed than ever, and the gore is, simply put, nothing short of spectacular. The fountains of blood, dismembered limbs, they make their glorious return, creating an intense and visceral experience that was, quite frankly, sorely missed in Sigma 2. The Crimson Chaos as well becomes a signature visual theme throughout the game, and while you technically have the option to turn it off, it's hard to imagine why anyone would. And the bosses in particular then, and the enemies in fact, visual highlights. They're often screen-filling monstrosities, and they are rendered in stunning detail with incredible animations. And just overall as well, this is a flawless 4K presentation that makes each and every moment a visual feast. Just quickly then as well, a performance, another area where Ninja Gaiden 2 Black excels. The original Ninja Gaiden 2 was infamous for its performance issues, but this version delivers a rock-solid frame rate even during its most chaotic moments. Load times as well, practically non-existent, and I think the overall responsiveness is excellent. I think it's worth noting here as well, the reason for Sigma 2 dialing a lot of things back was for this fact. They wanted to get the performance to where it should be, but thankfully, with new hardware, that is no longer a concern. This said though, this release doesn't come without its share of controversy unfortunately. While Ninja Gaiden 2 Black restores the gore and dismemberment that were toned down, it's clear that the game is built on Sigma 2's framework rather than the original Gaiden 2. The foundation basically brings some notable changes that may feel like compromises to the purists out there. So for example, enemy numbers have been reduced compared to the original, and instead of overwhelming swarms, you're often faced with fewer, tougher enemies that can feel like bullet sponges. while the restored gore adds definitely that visceral edge as well. It doesn't entirely recapture, I guess, the chaotic intensity of the original. Now, beyond gameplay tweaks then, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black adopts much of Sigma 2's structure, including its expanded 17 chapters compared to the original's 14. However, not everything from Sigma 2 was carried over. Missing content includes 2 bosses that were exclusive to Sigma 2, extra costumes for the 4 playable characters, though I will say the original game only featured Ryu, and then features like online leaderboards and Ninja Cinema, features of the original game, also absent. On the flip side then, some of Sigma 2's additions like Team Tag missions and Ninja Records, they remain, but others such as Ninja Race are absent. The result is kind of a mix of features that doesn't fully align with either of its predecessors, and this odd blend combined with a lack of transparency about these changes make it hard to see Ninja Gaiden 2 Black as a definitive addition. Onto the good stuff now though. When it comes to gameplay, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is where the series truly flexes its muscles. Combat is fluid, brutal, it demands precision, it's rewarding those who take the time to master its systems. The variety of weapons is a standout feature, each offering unique movesets, playstyles and opportunities for experimentation. And these weapons then, they aren't just diverse, they're deeply customizable. Each can be upgraded across 3 levels, unlocking new moves and expanding their potential. It's basically an ever-growing arsenal, introducing weapon-specific combos and techniques that keep combat feeling fresh, even after hours of just hacking and slashing. And what's most impressive then as well is how the game doesn't hold your hand. If you miss a weapon or item in this world, too bad, you simply won't have it. It's a bold design choice that reinforces the game's philosophy of mastery through exploration and player initiative. The game also excels in at keeping you on your toes by slowly drip feeding new enemy types. If it's not overwhelming you with swarms of foes, it's introducing a new opponent with an attack pattern you'll need to quickly adapt to and master. Before long, you'll find yourself facing down massive demons, each with their own unique moves that force you to rethink your strategy. The pacing of these encounters then ensures that the challenge never becomes monotonous, as there's always going to be, I promise you, something new to contend with. Boss fights then continue to elevate this experience to new heights. These encounters are tests of both skill and adaptability, often introducing new mechanics or moves that players must master to succeed. They're more than just roadblocks basically, which is what we commonly see. They're milestones that demand precision, timing, but also a deep understanding of your weaponry. Basically, each boss feels distinct, from their imposing designs to the strategies required to take them down, ensuring every fight here, it feels incredibly unique. It's here that Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, in my opinion, shines brightest, blending its punishing difficulty with that thrill of just hard-earned victory. Unfortunately though, we gotta be real here, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black isn't without its flaws. While it takes players on a globe-trotting adventure from Tokyo's glittering skyline to the frozen peaks of mountains, its level design is undeniably linear. Most stages are really little more than a series of corridors packed with relentless enemy encounters. So yeah, while the intensity of combat ensures these sequences rarely feel dull, the approach generally can feel outdated compared to those modern action games. The camera then has been a long-standing issue in the series, and yeah, I guess it only reinforces the problem. It struggles to keep up with the fast-paced action. It often just leaves you vulnerable to off-screen attacks, particularly frustrating in some of the more, let's say, intense encounters. And ranged weapons, they've always fallen short of expectations, most likely impact or utility of their melee counterparts. I still feel that is the case, save for a few specific scenarios. Finally, the underwater sections fare even worse. Visually, I'd say, I guess interesting, but mechanically just clunky. They turn into chores rather than challenges. Then, I guess to reiterate as well, compounding these issues is the omission of features from previous releases of Ninja Gaiden 2. So overall, even with its flaws, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black delivers a visceral, challenging, and deeply rewarding experience. It captures the essence of what made the series a legend. Now, I've made no secret of my love for Ninja Gaiden, and transparently, this has been one of the most enjoyable experiences I've had in years. So yeah, for me personally, look, it's a 10 out of 10, but that's my bias speaking. Objectively, the ties to Sigma 2, the lack of certain features, and lingering issues like the camera, which is always going to be the case in a remaster, hold it back. But I still think Ninja Gaiden 2 Black stands as a fantastic entry point for newcomers and also a nostalgic return for fans. The restored gore and dismemberment, they go a long way in recapturing the intensity of the original, making it a must-play for anyone who craves a challenge. Today, it's a great 8 out of 10 from me. It's a brutally fun reminder of why Ninja Gaiden holds such a revered place in gaming history, and if this is the direction the series is headed, the future, it looks bright, but also extremely bloody. Alright, so that is Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you've been playing it already, would love to hear your thoughts. Are you considering picking it up? If you do have any questions, let me know them there too. I will try to get to them as quickly as possible. And once again, look, if you did enjoy this, do me a favor and subscribe. That helps the channel a huge amount.